10 empowering Stoic choices to transform your life starting now. What if I told you that the power to master your life isn't in some external force, some future event, or even someone else's hands, but already within you? Imagine this: you've just lost your job, your closest friend betrayed you, and your future seems like a haze of uncertainty. In that moment, most of us spiral. But what if you could face it all, not with despair, but with unshakable clarity and strength? Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers us modern tools for resilience and transformation. Let's start with 10 Stoic choices that can reshape your life starting today. Now ask yourself this: what's stopping you from becoming unshakable? Stoicism, at its core, is a guide to living well, a toolkit for navigating chaos without losing yourself. Founded by Zeno of Citium in ancient Greece, this philosophy was embraced by emperors like Marcus Aurelius, playwrights like Seneca, and even former slaves like Epictetus. Their lives were riddled with challenges, war, exile, betrayal, and yet they found peace by focusing on what they could control and letting go of what they couldn't. And this is where your transformation begins. The first Stoic choice: choose control over reaction. Let's be honest. How often do you let other people's words or actions ruin your day? Your coworker's offhand comment, the stranger who cuts you off in traffic, tiny sparks igniting wildfires of frustration. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Imagine carrying that truth with you everywhere. Next time anger flares up, pause, ask yourself, am I choosing this reaction? Or is this reaction choosing me? Master your reaction, and you master your emotions. The second choice: embrace discomfort as a path to growth. Here's a story: Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, faced endless battles, political turmoil, and personal tragedy. Yet, he wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about this. Every obstacle you face is a chance to sharpen yourself. That uncomfortable conversation you're avoiding, the failure you're too afraid to risk, they are not barriers but bridges if you let them be. When was the last time you leaned into discomfort instead of running from it? The third choice: prioritize what's within your control. Most of us spend our days worrying about things we cannot influence: the economy, the opinions of others, the weather. Seneca, the Roman Stoic, warns us, "He who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than is necessary." Picture your life as two circles, one small, containing what you control, your actions, your thoughts, the other vast, filled with everything else. Focus on the smaller circle, and you'll find freedom. A practical exercise? Each morning, list what's in your control today. At night, reflect. Did I honor my part? The fourth choice: detach from the outcome. Commit to the effort. Let's talk about failure. You've poured your heart into a project, only for it to flop. You feel like the world's biggest loser. But what if you reframe success? The Stoics teach us that the only failure is failing to try. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, perform every action as though it were your last. Focus on doing your best, not obsessing over what happens next. Detachment isn't giving up. It's letting go of what you don't control. What if you define success not by results, but by effort? The fifth choice: practice gratitude daily. Here's a tough pill to swallow. Your life, right now, is someone else's dream. It's easy to take things for granted: your health, your relationships, even your morning coffee. The Stoics were masters of gratitude. Seneca advised us to regularly reflect on life's blessings, even imagining losing them to appreciate them more deeply. Tonight, before you sleep, try this. Name 3 things you're grateful for. Not big things, small ones, like the sound of rain or the warmth of your bed. Over time, this practice rewires your mind to see abundance instead of lack. The sixth choice: live as if your time is limited. Picture this: you're told you have 1 year left to live. Would you spend it complaining, procrastinating, arguing over trivial matters? Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." The truth is, we're all racing against the clock, but few of us act like it. Start each day by asking, if today were my last, what would truly matter? Let that guide your choices. The seventh choice, align your actions with your values. One of Stoicism's greatest lessons is the importance of living authentically. Marcus Aurelius urges us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Think about your daily decisions. Do they reflect your core values? Or are they shaped by fear, greed, or the need to fit in? Integrity isn't a grand gesture. It's 1,000 small choices made every day. Choose to align your actions with the person you want to be, and watch your self-respect soar. Who are you when no one else is watching? The eighth choice, see adversity as a teacher. Life will knock you down, there's no escaping it. But every hardship carries a hidden lesson. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A breakup teaches you resilience. A failed business, it sharpens your strategy. The lesson is always there, waiting. The question is, will you look for it? The ninth choice, simplify your desires. The modern world bombards us with messages that we need more money, more possessions, more success. But the Stoics knew better. Epictetus wrote, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Strip away the excess, and you'll find clarity. Next time you're tempted to buy something, ask, does this truly add value to my life? Or am I filling a void? The 10th choice, practice kindness. No matter what, here's the ultimate paradox of strength. True power lies in gentleness. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to act with compassion, even toward those who wronged him. The best revenge, he wrote, is not to be like your enemy. Choose kindness not because the world deserves it, but because you deserve the peace it brings. As we reach this turning point, let me ask you, which of these choices will you make today? The Stoic blueprint for resilience and freedom. Have you ever felt trapped by your circumstances, by your emotions, by the relentless demands of the world? Stoicism isn't just a philosophy. It's a key to freedom. Freedom not from life's challenges, but from the unnecessary suffering we create by resisting them. In this part, we'll uncover how to apply Stoic wisdom to unlock resilience and reclaim your inner peace. But before we begin, let me ask, what would your life look like if nothing could disturb your inner calm? To build resilience, we must first understand the nature of control. Imagine this, you're standing in the middle of a storm. The winds tear at your clothes. The rain lashes your face. You can't stop the storm, but you can decide how you stand within it. This is the essence of the Stoic dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can change, and release the rest. But how do we practice this in daily life? Start with small things. When your plans fall apart, pause, breathe. Instead of lamenting, ask, what can I do now? Each time you choose to respond, rather than react, you're building the muscle of resilience. Another cornerstone of Stoic freedom is acceptance. This doesn't mean passive surrender, but active acknowledgement of reality. Picture a river. When you resist its flow, you tire yourself out. When you move with it, you conserve energy and navigate more effectively. Seneca said, fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. Take a moment to reflect. What are you resisting in your life right now? The Stoics teach us to accept what is, without bitterness or denial. This is not weakness, it's strength. It frees us to focus on what truly matters, our character, our decisions, our actions. Now let's talk about perception. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but your estimate of it. Your mind is a lens through which you see the world. If the lens is dirty, clouded by fear, anger, or self-pity, you'll see problems everywhere. Clean the lens, and the same world becomes full of opportunities. Here's a practical exercise when you encounter a setback. Pause and reframe. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" This simple shift can transform adversity into a stepping stone. True freedom also requires letting go of attachment. We cling to things, jobs, relationships, possessions because we believe they define us. But the Stoics saw attachment as a trap. Epictetus advises, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish for things to happen as they do, and you will find serenity." Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Now imagine opening your hand. The sand rests there freely, without struggle. This is the power of non-attachment. Practice it by asking yourself, "If I lost this today, would I still be okay?" One of the most profound Stoic lessons is the concept of amor fati, loving your fate. It's not enough to accept life. We must embrace it, with all its imperfections. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Think of your life as a fire. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every failure, its fuel. The question is, will you let it consume you, or will you use it to burn brighter? Resilience also depends on knowing your purpose. The Stoics believed that every person has a role in the grand order of the universe, a unique contribution only they can make. Marcus Aurelius urged himself daily. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, "I am rising to do the work of a human being." What is your work? What gives your life meaning? Write it down. Keep it where you can see it. Let it guide your decisions. Now, let's address fear, the ultimate thief of freedom. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Epictetus tells us, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." Fear thrives in the shadows of our imagination, growing stronger the longer we avoid it. The Stoic antidote? Face it head-on. Seneca practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining worst-case scenarios to prepare himself. Try it. What's the worst that could happen? How would you handle it? Often, you'll find that the fear itself is far worse than the reality. A resilient mind also needs discipline. Marcus Aurelius described himself as his own harshest critic, constantly holding himself to higher standards. But this wasn't about self-punishment. It was about self-mastery. Discipline, the Stoics teach us, is the bridge between intention and action. Start small. Commit to a daily practice, whether it's journaling, exercise, or meditation. The act of showing up, even when you don't feel like it, strengthens your willpower. And remember, discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Freedom requires simplicity. The modern world glorifies busyness, but the Stoics valued focus. Seneca wrote, "Life is not short if you know how to use it." How much of your time is spent on things that don't matter? Social media, endless emails, mindless entertainment, they clutter your mind and drain your energy. Take a hard look at your priorities. What can you eliminate? What deserves your attention? Simplifying isn't just about doing less. It's about doing what aligns with your values. Finally, resilience flourishes in community. The Stoics knew we're stronger together. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "We are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids." Freedom doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means building relationships based on mutual respect and support. Who in your life lifts you up? Who challenges you to grow? Invest in those connections. And remember, kindness is the glue of community. Each act of compassion, no matter how small, strengthens the bonds that hold us together. Freedom isn't the absence of challenges. It's the presence of a mind that can face them with courage, clarity, and grace. Resilience isn't built overnight. It's a choice you make, again and again. The question is, will you make that choice? The eternal Stoic practice, mastering the art of living. Imagine walking through life with the unshakable confidence that no matter what happens, success or failure, Joy or pain, you will remain steadfast, free, and in control. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to study, it's a way of life. In this final part, we'll explore how to make Stoicism an enduring practice, a compass that guides you through every decision, every challenge, every triumph. But first, let me ask, what does it mean to truly live, to master the art of living? Start with self-awareness. The Stoics emphasized that a life unexamined is a life wasted. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily, reflecting on his actions, thoughts, and emotions. He wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." Try this. At the end of each day, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? What will I improve tomorrow? This habit, simple yet profound, will help you align your actions with your values and grow into the person you aspire to be. Next, cultivate equanimity. Life will test you with highs and lows, but the Stoics teach us to remain steady. Epictetus likened life to a banquet. When the dish is passed to you, extend your hand and take a portion with moderation. If it passes you by, do not stop it. If it has not yet come, do not stretch your desire toward it, but wait until it reaches you. Imagine celebrating your successes without arrogance and enduring your failures without despair. How? By remembering that neither defines you. The world is transient, ever-changing. True peace comes from anchoring yourself in what is constant, your character, your choices, your inner strength. To live fully, embrace mindful presence. Marcus Aurelius urged, "Confine yourself to the present." How often do we waste energy dwelling on the past or worrying about the future? The Stoics remind us that the only moment we truly have is now. Here's a practice. Throughout your day, pause and ask yourself, what is happening right now? Notice the sensations, the sounds, the people around you. Engage fully with the present. This is where life happens, not in regrets or anticipation, but in this very moment. A cornerstone of Stoic living is service to others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is your vocation? To be a good person." The Stoics believed that our highest purpose is to contribute to the greater good. This doesn't mean grand gestures. It means daily acts of kindness, integrity, and generosity. Who can you help today? A colleague struggling with a task? A stranger needing a kind word? Each small action adds up, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you can see. Now let's discuss facing mortality. Few things clarify life's priorities like contemplating its end. Seneca advised, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." This isn't morbid, it's empowering. Imagine living each day as if it were your last, not in recklessness, but in full awareness. Would you waste time on trivial arguments? Would you delay expressing love or gratitude? Let this thought guide you. What would I do if today were my final day? Another essential practice is detaching from ego. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of his own mortality and insignificance. Soon you will have forgotten the world, and soon the world will have forgotten you. Ego blinds us, leading to pride, anger, and conflict. The Stoics teach us to see beyond ourselves, to recognize that we are part of something larger. The next time you feel slighted or offended, pause, ask yourself, does this matter in the grand scheme of things? You'll often find that it doesn't. Stoicism also teaches us to find joy in simplicity. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor." Modern life tempts us with endless desires, but true contentment comes from appreciating what we already have. Start small. Spend a day without indulging in luxuries. Cook a simple meal. Walk instead of driving. Notice how much you can enjoy with so little. This practice not only fosters gratitude but also builds resilience. You'll realize how little you truly need to be happy. To master the art of living, embrace radical accountability. Epictetus said, "You are responsible for your own soul." This means owning your choices, your actions, your life. No more blaming others or circumstances. No more excuses. When something goes wrong, resist the urge to point fingers. Instead, ask, what could I have done differently? This mindset isn't about self-blame. It's about empowerment. When you take responsibility, you take control. Another vital practice is seeking wisdom. The Stoics believed that learning never ends. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, considered himself a student of philosophy. He wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What are you feeding your mind? Make a habit of reading, reflecting, and engaging with ideas that challenge and inspire you. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth. Remember, wisdom isn't just knowledge, it's the ability to apply it. Finally, the Stoic life is about constant renewal. Each day is a chance to start again, to improve, to grow. Marcus Aurelius began each morning with the reminder, begin each day as if it were on purpose. Think of your life as a garden. It needs daily tending, planting seeds of good habits, weeding out negativity, watering your goals with effort and persistence. The question is, what kind of garden do you want to grow? Life isn't a straight path. It's a series of choices. Every day, every moment, you have the power to choose how you respond, how you grow, how you live. Stoicism isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming better, one choice at a time. So now I ask you, what will you choose today?